if you would like to support this channel, you can do so at my Patreon or by following any of my social media accounts or buying one of the paintings you see in this video on my website. All of these are linked in my description at robinsealark.com. Surprise! I have short hair. It's the end of November. That means it's time for our November roundup. This month has recognized two significant changes. Number one, we went from fall to winter. No. And yeah, I do have some vlog footage to demonstrate said changes. If you've watched any of my last recaps, you know that I like to insert vlog footage so you can see what things I've been doing that have been visually inspiring to me and adding fruit to my thoughts. Hopefully it helps you feel energized too about what things you can be doing to spark inspiration in your own life. While I'm showing you the vlog footage, I'm also going to talk about the second big change of this month, which is... I'm outside a drive-thru. We had some sizable shifts in some of my mentality about life and art. Everyone's lined up here to get the shots. Pit-hawk. Okay, remember how I've been going through this whole experimental phase? Well, bonjour. I feel a return to an older set of values, and I am loving on realism again. Now, I don't know what that means exactly in terms of how I integrate all the lessons I've learned. What are you doing?
I'm beautiful.
I think it was really pivotal for me to go through such an experimental phase because I needed to completely strip myself down artistically to eliminate fear-driven action and give myself more flexibility to take risks and make sure that I am being genuine in the artistic choices I make, because I really do believe you should try to make art that matters to you, that you care about, that you love, because why else do art? I really like the flat juxtaposed with the shading and abstract and realism together. If you haven't watched all of my deep explanations about why to do experimental art or why I did it or why I found it important to make art that other people hated, I have a specific video. It was my last month's recap, so I will link that in the description. But I feel like it's led me to this place now where I crave realism. I just love it. I think I honestly love it. I want to be clear, I reserve the right to change my mind or to change at any time, and that's part of going on this whole kick. I just want to do right by me, and I want to give myself freedom of expression and the freedom to grow. A caveat as always, anything I talk about with myself, please try to look for personal application for yourself. These monthly recaps are meant to be it's so beautiful. Revisiting of value systems, personal and artistic development. And this month just happens to be a coming of age, a maturing of my experimental phase, and a return to things I used to really like to do in art. Oh my god. Oh yeah. It's raining. You can't really see, but it is raining. I'll just make some encouragement. Some encouragement for you guys if you are going through a rut. I feel like I was going through a period of being very unaware of my artistic identity, of my personal identity, and I felt the need to explore and try new things, and I want to give you some reassurance that that is okay. Honestly, spitting underneath this is crazy. That is part of what growing as an artist means. It is developing your style, your interests, getting in touch with the things that matter to you, and then doing your best to represent it and share messages and share beauty with other people. And part of that process is figuring out who you want to be and what your interests are and what artistic styles or subject matter you are personally drawn to. And there's so much variety and variance in what that can mean, and it's a really beautiful thing to embrace that and then do you. Now, I don't think my personal experimental period is completely over because I just have so much information to summarize for myself after really developing my realism phase and then going into my experimental phase and starting to love alternative expression and surrealism. Coming back to realism, I think there are ways that I'm not aware of entirely yet that will filter in, and I think mainly it's going to come in the form of something I've talked about before, which is just making my landscapes or subject matter more vibrant, more surreal, more exaggerated, more stylized, but all of that is yet to come. All I can say is that I feel so good about having experimented, and I feel so good about coming back to realism, and all the same loves that I had for it before I did this journey are here waiting for me now. Photographing. This is the setup that I'm using. It's really nice and clean out here. Sometimes I use a white backdrop, but I've got some bigger pieces that didn't fit the white paper I have, so I'm trying this out. And there is some making up for lost time. There is some needing to refresh on skills that I used to be fresh in. But coming back to realism, I feel this drive and motivation and reinvigoration and challenge, and it's beautiful just to kind of demonstrate some of all that happened. Here is a look back on what my journey has been so far artistically and all the changes that I've made. Now obviously there were a lot more paintings that I made in these years, but I tried to pick a few from each year to show movements I made and changes that took place in those years. Just as you're going to be changing and evolving in your value system and in the way you express yourself, so too will your art be changing and evolving in those ways. I really like the quote from John Lennon that says, "Life is what happens to you while you're busy making other plans," and I think the same thing applies when it comes to art. You might be reaching for something and trying to establish a style over a long period of time, but when you look back in retrospect, your art is what it was while you were striving for things all along, and it's a culmination of all the things that you wish you didn't make and the things you wish you could make. So I hope that you guys can have some inspiration and pump up from this and be excited to watch your own progression. Traverse? Is that a word? Progress? Go forward? I'm excited about the future, and I hope you guys are feeling energized and jazzed and ready for good things to come, because Robin's feeling good. Okay, subscribe, follow my social media links, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!